Awesome. All right, so this class is going to be one of pretty importance because video is a key part of the recruiting process for us here at NCSA, and we want to make sure that you, as one of our members, has a good understanding of what we need in highlight videos and what coaches are really looking for in highlight videos. So we're going to talk a little bit tonight about a lot of different things. We're going to talk about recruiting timelines because recruiting timelines are going to be crucial for us to understand as a recruit. It also helps to know what coaches are doing in what parts of the year, because that's going to drastically improve how we spend our time and what we spend our time focusing on. We're going to talk about the importance of highlight videos. We're going to talk about what coaches want to see in highlight videos. And we're going to talk a lot about how to submit video to us. Okay, because the good thing here at NCSA is that part of your membership is going to be all about that we create highlights for you. And video is one of the most complicated and one of the most time-consuming concepts. As a college coach, I always delegated video to my assistants because it was such something that took so much time. So we'll be talking about a couple of those different things tonight. The chat box is going to be the easiest way for you to interact with me tonight. So if you have questions as we go, please feel free to use that. You'll see it on the top of your screen. There may even be a part that says Q&A. You can use either one, chat box or the Q&A as we go forward. And at the end of class tonight, there'll be some time for you to ask questions as well. So let's jump into it. When we look at recruiting timelines, okay, we generally will break the season up or the year up into seasons as a college coach, right? And so right now we're in the fall season that runs from August to early November. It is the slowest recruiting season, okay? And the reason for that is that coaches are currently in the college season. And so their primary focus is the performance of their teams, and they will shift their attention to recruiting as we get into November, and then through the rest of the year is a busy recruiting time. As a player, as a recruit, right, it's important to know that once you enter high school, coaches are going to actively evaluate your ability. But it isn't really until you get to be juniors or seniors that coaches will begin to build one-on-one relationships with you, because a lot of them are limited by rules that prevent that. And the rest of the coaches that don't have rules that prevent that are just more focused on completing the older classes. Okay, so as a player, we always want to be proactive in the recruiting process because we want our communication and our messaging, right, to be consistent and to make sure coaches know we're interested in their programs and how they can evaluate our ability. Okay, so using the chat box, go ahead and tell me, why do we need a highlight video on your NCSA profile? Share your thoughts with me. I like it, Mario. And you should see on the screen, if you're unfamiliar with Zoom, Mario just put his answer in there. So you should see a little red bubble pop up. That will be the chat box. That will be where you can spend some time asking me questions and answering some of these prompts. Yeah, and we got some good answers here. Right. So Mario says because a video tells 1,000 words. Nate's telling me that it's a quick idea of what I can do. All right, and ultimately, everyone, we want to highlight video on your NCSA profile because the first step in the recruiting process is to be evaluated by coaches. And coaches, when they're evaluating athletes, the first thing they look for is, does this athlete's athletic ability make my program better? Does their skill set fit what my program needs? Okay, and so when we look at profiles that have film get 12 times as many views and 8 times as many follows because they can quickly determine in a snapshot that they are interested in learning more about you. Okay, so video may open the door to relationship with coaches, and it's important that we have it on our profile so that coaches are using our platform, right, can identify you, but also we can use our profile and our video to proactively reach out to schools and ask them to consider us. Okay, so we need film to allow coaches to evaluate whether or not you fit their program. Athletically, they're going to look at your film, And then they're going to look at your profile to see if you're an academic fit, right? And if it's a good fit otherwise. But we want to have film to give them that opportunity. Okay, now, in your own words, what do you think coaches want to see in highlight videos? Tell me that in the chat box. Yeah, and there's a lot of different directions to go with this question, right? So, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, every coach is gonna evaluate a film. We're gonna watch a video, and we may see different things. Okay, and so Mario's telling me in the chat box, they want to see movement on and off the ball. They want to see you play with both feet. They want to see your intelligence in the game, right? And that's true. We do want to see all those things, right? And generally, as a coach, when I'm evaluating players, or any coach is evaluating players, we're going to look at 4 different areas of the game. And these 4 different areas are things that we want to have showcased in our highlight video. Okay. And so one of the qualities we're going to look at is your athleticism. So the physical category, right? How fast are you? How quick are you? How strong are you? Right? What physical elements do you bring to the game? Okay. And soccer is my favorite sport for a number of reasons, but one of them is because you can have all different types of athleticism, body shapes, sizes, be successful at the sport, right? If you look at Messi, very tiny human, very low center of gravity, right? Doesn't look as an imposing an athlete as if you look at a Virgil van Dijk, right? Or maybe even a Cristiano Ronaldo, right? So you can have all these different athleticisms, but we want to identify what are we good at and can we showcase that? Okay. Technical ability is going to be evaluated. That is your ability to manipulate the ball. Okay. And when we look at technical and tactical ability as well as physicality, right, we want to see you express those skills in your best position. Okay, so technical is going to be what you can do with the ball. Tactical is going to be your decision making. So what positions do you take up? Where do you move off the ball? Right, those type of things. And then psychological is going to be how do we see you respond in the game to difficult situations, right? Maybe it's communication, maybe your team is down a goal, right? And sometimes it's hard to tell that in the highlight video, but they're certainly going to be evaluating that as they watch you play over a consistent period of time. Right? So these are the 4 pillars. And so as we're looking at highlight videos, we're showcasing your athleticism, your ability with the ball at your feet, your tactical decision making, all of which are going to be impacted by what position you're playing on the field. Okay. And so when we look at your highlight video, we're generally going to evaluate you in certain parts of the field, right? So as a goalkeeper, we're generally going to see you probably in the back third of the field. If I'm a central midfielder, I'm probably going to be in these 3 central channels. If I'm a wide player, it's probably going to be two channels widthwise, but probably a lot more up and down the field. And so we want to keep in mind that as we're making videos, we're looking for certain qualities, but we're also probably going to be in a specific part of the field. And that specific part of the field is going to lend itself to showcasing certain things. Okay. And so, for example, if I am a goalkeeper, right, and I'm down here in this area, you're going to see me obviously making defensive saves, right? You're also going to see me in distribution, the attacking phase of the game, right? If I'm a number 9, I'm a center forward. We're going to see you probably in the attacking half of the field the most, certain attacking movements, certain defensive movements, and same thing with all the other positions. Okay, so we want to think about where on the field we're playing and what parts of the field lend itself to that. Okay. Wide players generally have more speed. Central players may be a little bit quicker in terms of changing direction or ball manipulation, whatever it's going to be, but we want to showcase our ability in certain parts of the field. If we're an attacking player, and by attacking player, we mean that your role is mostly an attacking position. Okay, so when we look at positions on the field, all players have to attack, all players have to defend. That's the modern game of soccer. However, some positions attack more often than they defend. So a number 9 center forward is going to attack more than they defend. They still have a defensive role, but we want to see the majority of their highlight video be attacking moments because that's the majority of their role, right? Whereas if we look at a center back, there's probably going to be more defensive phase videos than there are attacking phases. So if we're looking at attacking players, we're really looking at what is your ability to influence the game, to create opportunities for yourself or others, or potentially to create goals, score goals. Okay. So we're going to look for your technical ability in 1v1 situations. We're going to look for your technical ability in finishing or serving, passing range, right? Those are going to be technical things. That's also in those moments going to showcase your physical side, what's your speed, what's your quickness, and change of direction. We're going to look at your decision making. So what positions do you take up in support? Can you create overload movements, right? And can you get into dangerous areas in the front of the goal? So broad overview here of this. Part of my follow-up for this class will be to send you some various position-specific classes that I've done. So if you're a forward in this class, you'll get a class on forwards. If you're a center midfielder, you'll get a class on what we look for in center midfielders. But as a broad overview for attacking players, we want to see your attacking creativity. We still want to see some defensive moments because you do need to play defense and you do need to show coaches you can win the ball back, right? But the majority of your highlight will be attacking moments. Right? And for defensive players, those of us who defend more often than we attack, our video is probably going to be a little bit more defensive oriented, showcasing our 1v1 defending ability, right? Our vision and disrupting play or winning passes back or blocking runs, right? So we're going to be a little bit more defensive. I was a center back, defensive midfielder, much more defensive position, but we also still want to highlight the attacking parts of those positions. So what's your range of distribution? How consistently and accurately are we looking at that, right? If I'm an outside back, maybe it's a 1v1 attacking moments. Maybe it's my support movement. So there's still things we want to showcase as a defensive player that are also part of the attacking phase of the game. Okay. But whatever position you're playing for your team, that's where we want to showcase you. And then the big thing is what is my role in that position? And the easiest role to usually define is the goalkeeper role. And so for goalkeepers, right, we still want to showcase our defensive ability. We want to showcase our attacking ability. So the ability to distribute the ball with our hands and our feet, right? And so you'll see here, we put some key skills up here because goalkeeping is actually the one video or the one highlight video where it's easier for us to use training film than it is game film. So you'll see some of the different things that we want to see here from keepers. And we can create that in a training session. Okay. Here's the big takeaway I want all of you to know tonight. Right. Number one, as part of your membership, NCSA will create highlight videos for you. Your job is to get us raw footage. Okay. And that raw footage can look like a lot of different things, right? It can look like game film. It can be training film, right? It can be scrimmages, but we need the video to be able to create the highlight video for you. Okay. And so when we are creating highlights, so when NCSA is making you a video, we call that a verified video. And essentially that means that you're sending us film, we're breaking it down, creating a highlight. And our goal with that is to create a 2 to 3 minute video, 2 to 5 minute video at most, that showcases you in your position and your key skills. Okay, and in general, 2 to 3 minutes ends up being about 20 to 25 clips if you have a system that clips games, right? But if you don't have a system that clips games for you, so you don't have short clips, all you have is raw game footage, you can send our video team raw footage, and our video team will break it down for you if you don't have small clips. If you don't have game footage, we can use skills video. So we can do video of you training, right? But the big thing is we want to be able to see you and the field around you. We don't just want to see you. Okay, so verified video is us creating film for you. Okay, types of film we can use. Full games, if you have them, we can generally use 2 to 3 full games per highlight video. Anything more than that is too much for our video team to go through. Okay, it can be you with your club team, it can be you with your high school team. The big thing is if you're going to give us full games, we want to get the most competitive games we can get because that's the easiest thing for coaches to evaluate. You can use camp footage. So some ID camps will actually record games for you. We can use that. We can use scrimmages. So if you're training at practice and you end every practice with a 30-minute scrimmage, we can use that, right? And we can also we can use a skills video. Okay, so if you don't have game film, you don't have training film, we can create a skills video, which we did a lot in the pandemic, and we do a lot with people that don't have game film. And that's where we get to see you doing some training, individual skills that represent your position. So goalkeeper training would be an example of a skills video. If I'm a forward, maybe finishing. If I'm a defender, maybe some 1v1 defending moments. Those would be some skills video that we can use. Okay, and I'll send you an example of that as we get into our follow-up. Okay, so we at NCSA can create highlights for you, right? And each membership, so elite members get 3 videos that we'll create. Champion members get 2, right? MVPs get 5, but we'll create those for you. But you also have the ability to create your own highlight videos and post them to your profile without using one of your edits. Okay, so know that as well. Right, so you can create your own. We call that an unverified video. It's where you make the film, you send it to us, it's put on your profile as is, so we do not touch it. Okay, and this can be a really good thing to do if you don't quite have game film yet. You want to just do a skills video, you can film that with your phone, put it on YouTube, put it on your profile, and it doesn't use one of your edits, right? But right, if you're going to create your own film, it does take a bit of time. I'll warn you that now, right? So you will want some editing things, which we'll talk about, right? But you also want to make sure coaches can watch it. So it still needs to be that 2 to 5 minutes. It needs to be very cautious on what type of music you put on there. We never want to adjust the speed of the video either. So avoid slow motion, avoid speeding it up, because that makes coaches go, ooh, has this video been altered? And can I trust what I'm seeing? Okay, so you can create your own. Just make sure we're doing so without adjusting the speed. Pick music that's going to be reflective positively of you or leave music out, right? And we want to make sure we don't screen record. Screen recording, we are unable to use for copyright reasons as well. Okay. Now, the big question I often get is how do we get video to the video team? The answer to that depends upon the type of film you have. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways to do this. First way to do this, all right, and let me actually switch my screen here. So I'm going to go on to one of our demo profiles. So if you are on your profile and you have video you want to upload, the Edit Profile Video tab is one area where you can upload film to us. Okay, so if you have a Hudl account, you can actually hook your Hudl account directly to your profile. Same with Vimeo and same with YouTube. So if you already have these accounts, they will hook up directly there. You can actually tell Hudl which videos you want to put on here, Vimeo, which videos you want to put on here. Okay, same thing with YouTube. You can directly link to your YouTube from here. If you have files, so if I have like clips on my phone, or I potentially have a full game in like a movie file, you can actually upload that directly here on the profile. You can say, yes, I want to edit it, or no, I don't. All right, and then I would just select the files that I want to upload. I would put it on my profile. Let's see if I actually have a video file here. I don't know if I do. Don't think I do. Okay. Yeah, so I don't necessarily have a video file here. Let me see. Yeah, there we go. So I've got a video file in here now. So I'm going to upload the video file. I'm going to tell the video team what my jersey number is, what my jersey color is, and then I'm going to put notes in here. And I'm going to say to the video team, in this video, at the 1 minute mark, I score a goal. At the 5 minute mark, I have a great cross, right? And that way the video team knows what they're looking for in that film. I would send it to the video team, and that would be the first step in the process. So you can send video to our video team, right, directly from this video tab. That's one way to do it. Files directly here, hook up these accounts. Okay. Also, we can use Veo, right? Or we can use Trace, or we can use, what's the other big one? Veo, Trace, Pixelot, right? We can use a lot of those different things as well. The big thing with those, okay, is that you need to email us game links. So if your team uses Veo footage, right, we do not need a login normally if the files are shared correctly, right? You would actually take the link to the Veo and you would email it to our video team. And in that email, you would tell us in game number 1, here's a link. I'm the white jersey, I'm number 10, I'm the attacking center midfielder. Because we need to be able to identify you. Okay. And don't worry, I'm going to send you some follow-up information on how to get all of this to us. So part of my follow-up will be, here's all the different ways that you can get us video. But Veo needs to be emailed to us. Okay. Trace also needs to be emailed to us, right? We cannot use Trace unless the things are downloaded though. So we can't use a link. We actually have to download a video from Trace. That's part of their policy. So if you're using Trace footage, you've got to download the video and then send the video to us. Okay. You can upload it on the video tab like I showed you, or you can put it in a Google Drive and share the Google Drive to us, right? But again, we only really want to be seeing like 3 to 5 games because anything longer than that is too much for us to go through. So help our video team pick your best 3 to 5 games and then send that to us. Okay. If you're going to make your own videos, so if you're like, you know what, I'm going to make my own highlight video, what should I do? The best thing for you to do is make the film, right? And then either add it to YouTube and share the link or add it to Vimeo and share the link. Those will go directly onto your profile. You can send us a file. So if you make it and it's a movie file, you can still upload it on this button here. It just may take a day to get on there because we have to verify it's compatible with our system. So easiest thing if you're making your own films is to connect them to YouTube and then connect your YouTube to your NCSA. Okay. If you do want to make your own films, we've got some apps that we recommend that you use, right? If you're on a Mac, iMovie's great, okay? That's free as well, which also makes it super easy. If you're on a PC, Windows Movie Maker is also free, makes it super easy. These are some other ones that we've had people use. YouTube has their own creator studio that you can get into. Vimeo will give you a creator studio if you have a 30-day trial. So these are just some resources for you to try. But really, iMovie works great. Windows Movie Maker works great if you have the time to create your own films. Yeah, and so we got a good Mario's here telling me that they use Clipchamp and combine clips, and they seem to work okay. I'm not familiar with that. There's a lot of movie ones, guys. Like, there's a lot of different movie editing software. So really, it's about what do you have access to. I'm always a fan of the free ones, right? So the free ones are always great. We do have some that people really like. They pay for. There's a lot of free ones that you can use too. So thanks for the recommendation, Mario. I'll put it on there too. Okay. I will warn you, and this some of you guys will love it, but like creating videos does take a very long time. So make sure that if you're like, you know what, I'm going to make a video, that you do commit the time to it. It's always a bit longer than you think it's going to take to do. Okay. So for you guys, video is going to be a key next step for us. So the big thing is like, if we have film that we can get to our video team, right? It's going to take it, once you upload it and get it to us, it's still going to take us 10 to 14 days to go through it and create the highlight video for you. So once you submit it, 10 to 14 days later, you will hear from our video team, right, about the video being complete. So if you're going to send our video team footage, send it all at one time. So if I'm going to send them 3 to 5 games, I want to send 3 to 5 games at once so that they get it all at one time. Because if I send it one on one Monday and another one on Wednesday, another one on Friday, every time I send a new video, it restarts that clock. So we want to send everything at once. Then it's going to take 10 to 14 days to come back to us. Okay. Once your video is posted, it's viewable to all coaches on the platform team, right? Once it's created, our video team, our soccer evaluation team will look at it, evaluate it, and that will also make some of your top matches and benefits become active, right? And if you're able, if your profile is built and it's something that is your video is the last thing, we will actually use your video to reach out to coaches on your behalf. So you can see having video on your profile really is a key next step for you because it opens the door to being evaluated by coaches and beginning to build a relationship with coaches. And that's ultimately what recruiting is. Okay. As an elite member, right, you do have access to one-on-one sessions with our recruiting staff, right? And so once you have video on your profile and it's built, one of the best things you can do is actually sit down and have an evaluation session with our staff. And that's a 30-minute conversation where we talk about your profile, your video, what we see, what we want to see more of, what schools we think would be a good fit for you, and we teach you how to build relationships with coaches. Okay, so getting video is just a start. Having video on your profile lets coaches evaluate you, and having video on your profile lets us at NCSA help you more and help you move forward. So we definitely want to spend time getting video on our profile. Okay. And as an added bonus, the biggest thing I'll tell you, the biggest mistake athletes make in this recruiting process is they do not proactively reach out to coaches, ask coaches to evaluate their film, ask coaches to evaluate them at events. They expect coaches to come find them, right? And that's not the reality for the majority of us, myself included. We have to be proactive, asking coaches to look at our film, asking how we fit their 2025, 2026, 2027 recruiting classes. So we want to make sure we get video on our profile is built so that we can get evaluated, right? So we can get on the radar of coaches who can then come evaluate us at other events, right? So that's the key. We really want to have video so we can really start the recruiting process. Coaches can evaluate us, we can ask for feedback, and we can begin deepening relationships with coaches that are interested. Okay, so tell me in the chat box, what is your key next step in this process? Okay. And part of my follow-up is actually going to be, guys, I want to send you some recordings of classes I've done, recordings on how to create highlights for forwards, recordings on how to create highlights for goalkeepers, center midfielders, defenders. I'm also going to send you on how to create training film, skills videos, right? Because we want you to have video on here. It's easier for us to help you. It's easier for you to help yourself if you have video. So part of my follow-up will be, here's all these resources. Please take a look at them. Okay, because the more video you have, the easier it is for coaches to evaluate you. Okay. If you have issues with your video, like if you're struggling to submit it, if you're struggling to get it to us, call our member support team. They're in the office 7 days a week. They're happy to help you with video. It's something they're quite familiar with. So please take down this number. Know that they're going to be there to assist you with any problems that you have, no matter what format of video that you have. We're here to help, and we want to make sure that you get the help you need. Okay. I also just put a 1-question survey in the chat box. So if you could take a minute, complete that survey for me, I would greatly appreciate it. And then just tell me you're done in the chat box so we can go ahead and move forward. Yeah, and a good question in the chat box. The question is like, what's the sweet spot on the profile for videos? You can have 6 on your profile. I'll tell you, I think 3 is probably all you need, right? We are going to want to update your film. So if I'm a sophomore and I've got a video on there, we're probably going to want to update that film every 6 months to show our growth as a player, to show coaches what we've improved upon, right? And so we probably, I'll say like 3 is probably what you want to keep on there. They show up as 3 across the screen, so it's a little bit easier, right? If coaches want to see a full game of you, they'll ask you for it. But 3 is probably a good number. Okay. Yeah, and again, if you can just do that survey for me, I greatly appreciate that. It helps get me some feedback. And then know that we will be sending a recording of this class out as well as those additional resources tomorrow. So you'll get all of that information that you need. we're here to help you. So again, reach out to member services if you need. You can feel free to reach out to me if you need. We want you to get video on your profile. We want to help you do that because it helps make our life easier for you. So I appreciate your time. I know it's late on a Wednesday on a school night of all nights. So thank you for being here tonight. If you need anything else, please hang around. If not, go enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I look forward to seeing you again in some future classes.